everybody. Thanks for playing Dream Crush tonight.
Happy to be here.
Let me introduce everybody. Dream Crush, by the way, I'm Nick, and I'm one of the hosts of VCR Party and the Found Footage Festival. And my first board game just came out. It's called Dream Crush. Here's the box right here. This is out from Mondo Games. It's in stores this week and online. And I thought I would just do this video and play with some pals who could help show people how the game is played and give people an idea of what it is. Joining me tonight are Kendall McKenzie. Hi, Kendall. Kendall, I believe I've played like a prototype of this game with you before, right?
I'm not sure. Would it have been at one of your bag parties?
Probably, yeah. Like a previous birthday party, I may have played a version of this. It's been gestating for a while, this game. Kendall, you are a sex educator, and I'm going to say you're a dating expert. So that's why you're going to help out with this as well. Keith is from Denver Film, the C Film Center in Denver, where we play before the pandemic. We would play every year. And Keith, do you have any experience playing slumber party games?
I sure do. As a child, I often put on a wig and snuck in as a teenage girl to my other teenage girlfriends' parties. And that was the only way their parents would let a boy come over.
Did you really?
Couldn't explain that I was gay to do it. No, of course not.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wondering because part of my motivation for this game, I, as a poor cis white straight guy, I was not able to play slumber party games like the ones on either side of me here, like Dream Phone and Mall Madness, because friends' sisters did that. I couldn't do that. And so this game was sort of my way to infiltrate that and do a modern spin on it. Okay, so also, I really believe you, Keith.
I should have really just rolled with it.
Yeah, I mean, you have a drag character, right? I thought maybe that was the proto version of that. So
I did end up with a very femme other gay at school, at elementary school, and we did play these games ourselves.
Okay. All right, good. So some experience, yeah.
Yeah, but it just got to just the two-person version.
Yes.
So we didn't get to feel the full experience of one of these games.
Jason Griffith is joining me. Jason is a voice actor and also a screen actor and a friend for many years now.
Thank you, Nick.
I always like to introduce Jason as a former fat kid like myself. And Jason, what's your experience with party games? I know you've come to some of my birthday goofy game parties as well.
I remember playing, I think it was Dream Phone. I believe my sister had it circa 1991. And her friends would come over and play it, and I was always invited. And I don't remember much from the game, though. I believe there were hunks involved.
There are hunks involved with all of these, including this game. But yeah, Dream Phone is pretty good. It was sort of like Clue, and I feel like a version of this would work today because it came with a big pink phone. I have a copy of it over here somewhere. And the last time we had a snow day in New York, where it was a big blizzard, I had friends come over, all guys, and we all played Dream Phone, and it was the most fun I've had in a game session in a long time, because the best like mechanism in the game, I think, is you call a boy's number, and you reach somebody on the phone, but it's quiet enough that you have to hold the phone up. But sometimes it'll tell you that you and the person to your left get to do it. So it was me and some other bearded guy, a friend of mine, holding a pink phone up and being like, he doesn't wear shorts. And we're like, okay, we can eliminate Jason from the list. And I feel like put a modern version where you put your phone into the pink phone and you still have to do that. And I don't know, that's the next game idea. And lastly, we have Caitlin McGurk, one of the curators of the Billy Ireland Cartoon Library and Museum in Columbus, and a frequent guest of Saturday Morning Cartoons. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Did you grow up with brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have an older brother.
And okay, so what was your gaming experience in terms of like slumber party games and things like that?
I mean, I definitely played some Mall Madness. I played some Dream Phone. I'm trying to think of some of the other names of ones. There was one where the prompts were for you to actually call people, like real, like you were supposed to
Really?
call your crush or call so and so from your class and say this thing. It like prompted you to prank people. I'll have to figure out what it
Oh,
was.
that's good. Yeah, I have one called Slumber Party that had games like that.
It
It was
might be that.
actually called Slumber Party, and it also came with pink rollers for your hair, like to do like
Yeah.
the game box just has a bunch of pink rollers. Other games in this genre are Girl Talk, Secret Diary, Girl Talk Dateline. I'm looking at a bunch here. Heartthrob
Dateline.
Telephone Tag, Mall Madness. Party Mania is a VCR game where you're trying to do all your chores before the date, before the big dance, and not get saddled with the nerd. I've got a gem in the holograms game called Rock and Romance here. Sweet Valley High, the game, Dream Wedding, Barbie, Just Us Girls. I mean, they were endless, and I don't know if there were like guy versions of this growing up. I mean, there was Monopoly and Risk and things like that, but I don't think you just had the fun slumber party social games like that. And I felt like after finding a lot of these at thrift stores and playing them with my groups of like serious gamers, like who play hobby games, I realized that there's the core of the game, of these types of games, which is talking to friends about crushes and about who you like and what you don't like. And it's still fun as an adult, whether you're married, whether you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter. Um, and I just thought it needed to be modernized with traits that recognize all the wonders and horrors of modern dating and relationships. And so what a lot of this game is, it's about the little things that you can't quite articulate about people you're in relationships with that might bother you. But not only that, it's about finding out what's the breaking point for your friends. Like something that might be a deal breaker for me, you might actually like. And so you find out a lot about, I don't believe, like I know everybody here, but I don't think you guys know each other at all. So we're all going to learn something about each other tonight. It'll be fun. Let me tell you a little bit more about Dream Crush. This is a game that I've been working on for a few years now, and it's published by Mondo, which is known for its design, and the art is by a company called We Buy Your Kids. It's just a design firm. It's two people, and I think they really nailed sort of not going too retro, but kind of that cool. The color palette definitely is there with the day glow, pinks and purples, and so it definitely fits in with that. And the graphic design of all the cards, by the way, it comes with I believe over 100, about 96 different crushes in here.
Wow.
And as part of the update, I didn't want this to be for like just straight teenage girls. There's all sorts of, there's somebody for everybody in here, of all sorts of, like, there's non-binary folks in here. There's people who identify as, LGBTQIA and straight and whatever. We realized that it didn't just have to be for one type of person, that it really worked for everybody. And actually having a more diverse group of like potential people you could have crushes on was better because it was more inclusive. And it's more about kind of what you learn about the people, and it's like, oh, that really surprises me that person's like that, or you're like, that is such a Jerry thing to, as you find out more about them.
Now, Nick, can I ask, do you know 96 people that you went out and took their picture?
The most fun I had making this game was I got flown to Austin, Texas, and I photographed about 50 hunks. Had a photographer, had guys, and a bunch of props we got at Goodwill. And it's like, all right, you're the motorcycle guy. Come on in. Here's a fringe jacket for you. And then the pandemic hit, so we had to use we had to get more creative when we were having to do the second half of the photography and stuff. So we used some stock photos, we used friends and things like that to do that safely. But yeah, it was great. It was like I was had gotten a Make-A-Wish, but I'm fine. It was like I was like, what am I doing here? I'm directing a photographer. Let's get a snorkel on this guy. Yeah, that's it. And and then I was working with the graphic designer who kind of like came up with all the how the cards look. This is very much modeled after a diary. It's got the lock on here and everything. This is the rule book. And I was working with this guy Chris Billheimer for a long time, and I was like, let me look him up, see what his past things he's done are. He did the album cover for R.E.M's Monster, Neutral Milk Hotels in the Airplane Over the Sea, Green Day. Like the dude, he's like a really talented guy. So this game already has more pedigree than I could, ever hope for. And so the game looks great. Is it fun? We'll find out. So the way it works is you pick 3 crushes to be in the game. You pick a person to be like the first player. For the purposes of this, it's going to be me. And you can pick, you can either just randomly shuffle and put 3 out. You could pick all dudes. You could pick whatever you want to do. And then you reveal them. So, we're going to find out more. The game comes with these scorecards here. And on these, you have you right here, but then you also have spots to write everybody's name. So if everybody could get either their score sheet out or just take a piece of paper and make lines out, and you write your name on the top, and then going around whatever way your Zoom shows you, you can write everybody else's initial. So like Kendall Mackenzie, you could put KM, Keith Garcia, KG, Jason Griffith.
I have to go get paper.
Okay, yeah, do that. I'll explain more about this. And Caitlin McGurk, CM. So I'm going to do that as well. Kendall Mackenzie.
I have a question for you, Nick.
Yes.
I'm seeing Getting Sticky on here. I'm wondering what's the age appropriate range for this team game?
It's made for adults, but it's not like Cards Against Humanity dirty. It's just talks about like modern adult relationships, So it has the veneer of like a slumber party game. It's a slumber party game for grown-ups is how I would describe it. But it's nothing too dirty. All right. So I'm putting my name at the top, and then I'm going around and putting everybody else's initials like this. And what we're going to do is find out a little bit more about the crushes. And first I need to reveal who our potential crushes are. I randomly drew these before the game, and I'm going to reveal them right now. First of all, we have Kim. This is Kim. You can see has glasses. Don't know much more about Kim right now, but that's Kim. Can you see her okay on the Zoom window?
Sure.
All right. This is Lane. Lane with a leather jacket that I found at a thrift store. Pretty cool tattoos.
It's like a barracuda or a bear cat.
I think it is. Yeah. And this is Dakota. So got a diverse lineup here in this.
Is that Joe in a top hat?
Yeah, it actually no. This guy's far handsomer. And then also in this game, it's played over 5 rounds, and in each round, we're going to be put into a situation, and you have to pick. You have to look into your heart, and not be cute or ironic, and just really think, who would I pick in this situation based on what I know about them. So right now, I'm going to reveal the first. There's let's see how many situations there are. There are milestones. There's 75 total of these milestones, we call them. So the very first milestone, it's very innocuous usually. This is okay. If you can, I don't know if you can read this here, but it says they ask you to roller skate to one song at the roller rink. So it's a fairly standard first date kind of thing.
It's nice.
In 1985, but still. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. And now we're going to find out more about them. So let's reveal, this category is called accolades. So let's reveal the first accolade. We'll find out more about Kim here. So Kim, okay, interesting one to start off with. Kim is still going through a ska phase. So that's what we know about Kim. That could be a cool thing for you. Lane is currently, let me see. Yeah, there. Lane is on a 2-year sabbatical, but you're not sure from what. So that is what we know about Lane so far.
Definitely not letter jackets.
Yeah. And then also Dakota. Let me make sure the light isn't too. Wears a t-shirt that says feminist. So that's what we know about Dakota. Obviously not in that photograph. He's wearing a leopard print thing over a denim duster. But so just to recap, we have Dakota, who wears a t-shirt that says feminist. We have Lane, currently on a 2-year sabbatical, but you're not sure from what. And Kim is still going through a ska phase. Who are you going to roller skate to one song at the roller rink with? Under the gray category on my sheet, or the one under your name, you write who you pick. Dakota, Lane, or Kim. And then think about, just based on, I guess, appearances of each other, who you think everybody else will pick. And then write your guesses right there. Write if you think they'll pick Dakota, Lane, or Kim under that. So I'm going to write mine.
I have a question.
Yes, and you're gonna have to defend yourself too, by the way. Yes.
Okay. Are we going on like a mix of appearance and the things on the cards?
Yeah, I mean, however, yeah, I mean, we all bring our prejudices into first dates. So yeah, I mean, whatever information you want to go on, combine them both. I think I have Kendall nailed on this.
Shut up.
Okay. You can just use initials here too, because they all have different first names.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, I'm having trouble with.
I didn't have trouble at all.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
All right. I think I know who you're going with, and I think. All right. I'm guessing on Caitlin. Okay. Let me know when everybody's done. Good? Okay. All right. Let's start with Kendall. Reveal who you chose and why.
I chose Dakota. I'm really skeptical about the feminist t-shirt. Like, I like it, but I'm a little skeptical when men wear shit like that. But I'm gonna let it slide because maybe we'll learn more about it during our roller skating song. But like,
it's one song.
Honest, yeah, it's one song. I'll find out more. I'll ask a few questions. But he does look like the kind of guy that would like have sex with me once, treat me real bad, and I get dick drunk for a while.
Sure.
I shouldn't have picked. Kim was also on my list because I actually really like ska. Don't at me, but yeah. I went with my... All
right, I said go with your heart. You kind of went more with your loins, but I get it. So if you guessed what Kendall would choose correctly, you circle it with a heart, and you're going to total up your hearts at the end, and whoever gets the most is going to end up with their dream crush. They'll live happily ever after. So let's start with Keith. Whom did you choose?
I went with Dakota. And I think because he seems like a good roller skater. And if I'm going to dance to one song and then getting acquainted, I'm a terrible roller skater.
Yeah.
So I need someone who can carry that weight of like, I'm about to fall on my ass. And he's like, oh no, I got you.
Yeah.
And then he can like show me a little trick and I can be like, oh, okay, cool.
What's the song that comes on where he goes, this is my jam, and then really starts roller skating? What do you think? We're talking about Dakota here.
I'm gonna say died in your arms tonight.
Oh yeah. Ballad. Oh yeah. He's like, I got you, babe. And all right, Jason Griffith. I mean, I have a hunch here, but
I went with Lane.
Really? Okay.
I did, because Lane, he's going through a 2-year thing. And I'll roller skate with anybody who's taken a 2-year break from anything.
Yeah, right. Not afraid of that. Just like I got to find myself. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Nice.
And it also looks like he has full tattoo sleeves, which I'm gonna need to get a closer look at that on the roller skating floor.
Yeah, pretty cool tats. All right, Caitlin. I made a guess here. What'd you choose?
I went with Kim.
Oh,
I felt like Kim would possibly pick a ska song to roller skate to, and it would be kind of a fun challenge, you know, and maybe we'd have a little kind of movie montage scene trying to figure out how it would all work together. And
Like, can you skank
Dakota
on
was
roller
just so
skates?
particularly unappealing to me that I rejected Dakota off the bat. Lane,
Really?
unsure about the employment situation there. I really need some stability. And I'm with Kendall. I also still like ska. So.
Okay, yeah. For that same reason, I went with Kim as well. Fun fact, I was an intern at Moon Ska Records. So, you know, ask the DJ to put on some pie tasters or the toasters, and let's try to skank on skates. Also a big roller skating enthusiast. So, all right. So you've got your hearts circled. You obviously don't circle your own heart. You can't guess that. And I will just say, by the way, you can also write on your sheet what people actually chose if you want to like have that inform your next decision. You can like cross it out and put, oh, they actually chose Dakota here when I thought they would choose Lane. So you have your hearts for round one. That was the getting acquainted round, but now we're getting wild. The relationship's progressing a little further. We're going to see if you're going to stick with your crush or change crushes.
It's gonna be hard to
I know you're really married, but okay, this next milestone is you must attend one crush's open mic comedy night. And I mean, I imagine people have been in this situation before.
Yes.
A little uncomfortable, but let's find out more about these crushes. And we're taking this into totality and the situation into totality. So Kim, who's still going through a ska phase, is also the understudy for one of the puppets in the touring production of Avenue Q. So Avenue Q, the popular dirty puppet show on Broadway, and now is a touring production. Kim is the understudy for one of the puppets. Lane, the plan is vague, but they want to make millions flipping houses. So
themes here.
that actually fits. I mean, these are shuffled, but
situations.
Yeah, that actually fits. Also on a 2-year sabbatical, but you're not sure from what. And Dakota, the feminist T-shirt, dreams of giving it all up to buy a ranch and sell jerky in Montana. So,
is it vegan jerky?
Well, that's a good question. I think
Probably
you have to
Montana.
just intuit, but I don't think so. Maybe it is. All right, so now we're going to go to their open mic comedy night. Who are you picking now? Does it change? And write down who you pick and then who you think everybody else will pick.
So we're totally expecting they're going on the mic. That's why we're going with them.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying yes to this date. Okay.
They've invited you. You know, you've been roller skating, and they're like, "Hey, I'm doing an open mic at the laundromat or whatever. You know, I'm doing some comedy. Come check me out." So, who's everybody picking? And you can, you know what you know about people so far as well. Okay. Everybody good?
This one's really hard for some reason.
Well, we'll start with you, Keith. Does everybody have their answers in?
Yeah.
Okay, Keith, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Kim. I feel like Kim is a very deadpan person. Like, I don't think that their voice level rises above this timber right here like this.
I could see that. I really could. I mean, just the way it's, yeah.
And I don't know. It's sometimes those people that have the funniest little 5 minutes.
You're right.
To do an open mic.
Could be really dry and yeah.
And at the very least, you're not going to hear any sadness or fear in their voice if they get booed off stage. So,
True.
So any awkwardness, you can just be like, "Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty funny." And they're like, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot." Okay, yeah.
I could picture it so clearly in my head how that would go. Jason, who'd you go with?
I also went with Kim because I think anyone who understudies for a puppet has fucking stories to tell. And
you're right.
It could be a comedy, it could be stand-up comedy, it could be a storyteller's hour. I would listen to that shit start to finish.
That's true. It could be a self-deprecating story about being the understudy for a puppet. Yeah. All right. I like the thought process. Caitlin?
Yeah, I stuck with Kim. Kim is really, really solid for me, and I feel like she'd be great at open mic. I mean, she's got kind of like a little bit of Janine Garofalo energy, and I love Muppets, anything puppets, so I like her.
I could see it. All right, Kim's across the board so far. I also went with Kim. I'm a huge fan of puppets in general, and I don't like going to open mic nights, or I mean, worst is going to somebody's improv show, or one woman, one man, one person shows. Those are, I mean, you have nothing to deflect it on that one. But so the situation isn't ideal, but I still, I think Kim would be the choice here. Kendall, who did you go with?
I also went with Kim because Avenue Q is dope. And as sexy as I think Dakota is, and also I do also have dreams of like running away to Montana and living on a ranch, but I'm vegetarian, so the jerky thing doesn't really work for me.
Yeah.
And also Dakota seems like the type of like his comedy would be like super edgelord shit that would really I wouldn't think
this guy. No.
Well, I don't know. You're in like the leopard situation. He could be. It's a crapshoot, but Kim felt pretty. Like I agree with everyone else. Like Kim's just based on appearance.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how this plays out. So heart everybody except for yourself that you got correct on that. And we're going to total those up. And now we get to getting serious. So this is where the relationship is progressing to. Generally, the stakes are higher as these go around. And this one is you must entertain one crush's parents for a night. One crush's parents for a night.
Why?
Now I've had relationships where I've asked people to do this, and I am very sorry for that. I just want to say that now. It's a lot to put on that person.
Well, Nick, can I ask what do you mean by entertain one of the parents for a night? What does that mean? Like,
well, I mean, basically it means that they're not going to be with you. Like Dakota, Lane, and Kim they're out of town. You have to do the heavy lifting here. I can't believe I asked somebody to do that, but I was on tour and my parents were in town, and I learned my lesson the hard way that time. But so consider that's generally the situation. But how you entertain them is up to you. Maybe I'll ask you how you would do that. So let's find out about Kim, who's going through a ska phase and is an understudy for Avenue Q. Oh man, Kim taxidermies mice and makes dioramas of famous movie scenes with them. Painting a real picture of Kim here.
Being John Malkovich diorama is just amazing. Yeah.
Okay, Lane takes pictures of urban decay for their Tumblr. Also wants to flip houses and is on a sabbatical, but you're not sure from what. Dakota, feminist t-shirt, dreams of giving it all up to own a jerky ranch. Oh God, I did not set these up, by the way. Owns a lot of swords. That's all that was. But I mean, we're really getting completer pictures of these people now. So whose parents are we going to entertain for the evening? Dakota's maybe out scouting for ranch land in Montana. Lane's on a subway somewhere taking a leaking pipe, and Kim is maybe on the road in Minneapolis, like in case the person playing the lead puppet in FEQ gets sick. And for people watching at home, go ahead and make your call right now. By the way, the reason this is playable on Zoom, I just got one of those cheap tripods and set it up with my phone here. And the way you can play this on Zoom is you don't have to have a tripod, but you use your phone and you click the Zoom link on your phone. And when it's time to reveal cards, you just hold your phone up and put the card to that, and then, hold it up to the board to show people that. And it works fine. Like, that's how I've done it in the past. Just for this version, I thought, well, I'll have a stationary camera, but it's so easy to do over Zoom. And like, unlike playing other board games where there's a lot of pieces, only one person has to have a copy of the game, and you just have the board, you shuffle it up, and it's a social game anyway. It's about the discussion, and so it works really well over Zoom. I played it a lot and play tested it as we were sort of honing the game. We did it mostly over Zoom. So
brilliant. Okay.
Let's start with Jason Griffith.
Yeah, I went with Dakota this time.
Wow.
First time Dakota because well, you know, with Kim, if she's catching mice, I'm assuming wherever she lives there's a lot of mice, and I just don't want to be around there, and also try to be social with a parent. And Lane, he, you know, it's well, something in his smile makes me not trust his parents. So I went with Dakota because at least we'll be able to talk about and look at the swords together with.
Okay, right. Like this one is from Samurai era. This one is, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that logic. Caitlin, I'm interested in who you chose.
Yeah, I feel so basic here, but I'm just sticking with Kim. I mean, I think I'm in love. I own quite a bit of taxidermy. I'm all about this. I hadn't really thought about maybe she was catching this stuff herself, as Jason brought up. So that's a very good point.
Right.
I should have factored that into my decision, but nevertheless,
a crush is a crush.
That she's very skilled. It's not easy to catch a mouse if you've had one in your apartment before. So yeah, I'm sticking with her.
Yeah, you know, Kim has so many positive traits for me, but the taxidermied mice I just couldn't get behind. Animal lover, maybe they're already dead and she taxidermies, but I'm guessing it's the kind of thing where she puts the chloroform in with a cotton ball and the life slowly drains out of them, and then it's like, now you're in Taxi Driver. And I just, so I couldn't stick with her. I went with Lane because, I just thought, there's a lot of mystery about Lane. But maybe that's something to ask Lane's parents about. You know, I could find some clues as to what the flipping houses plan is, or sabbatical from what.
I also feel like, Nick, you enjoy Urban Decay yourself. So
I live in it. So yeah, I switched to Lane. Kendall.
I'm kind of with you. My heart is too tender for animals, and I feel like the mice would just make me very sad, and I can't deal with sword people. So I went with Lane because I also take pictures of dumb street garbage. So I felt like maybe we could go out and like shoot together. And Lane's a babe. It was the unemployment thing that threw me before, because I've dated way too many unemployed people with no ambition. But Lane's cute, and I'm a photographer, so maybe we have something in common after all.
Yeah. All right. I get the logic there. I didn't get it right, but I get the I get the logic. And Keith, very curious who you went with.
Well, I imagined a situation where I haven't been to Kim's place yet, and got asked this favor, and the parent is staying there while they're out of town. So I feel like the taxidermy will be a surprise to both myself and the parent.
Okay, we had some technical difficulties because my internet just totally conked out. But we're back, and Keith, you were explaining why you chose Kim to go entertain their parents for the evening. And so now we know everybody. Put hearts around the ones that you got right. I will just say I only had one person right that whole round. And it was Caitlin.
Two.
You got two?
Two. Yeah.
So predictable. But here's where things are going to get sticky. And this is just sticky in terms of the situation is sticky. Things
not dead rat sticky.
Not dead rat. You're just learning things that might not be the most attractive. That might be, I don't know. You're learning maybe too much about your crushes, because the name of the game, Dream Crush, was intentional, because at first you have this dream crush, and then your dreams kind of get crushed slowly, like in real life. So the situation for getting sticky starts off with, you must attend Burning Man with one crush. So we're talking about a pretty long, intense, sweaty, no shower, high heat situation. And And let's find out more about Kim with the ska phase, understudy for a puppet, taxidermies mice, and, oh boy, calls coworkers rock stars. So might be okay with somebody, might not be okay for others. That's your discretion.
I'd expect her to call them ska stars.
Yeah, you're right. But well, Kim is multifaceted, like all people are. Lane on hiatus, flipping houses, Urban Decay pictures. Honest to God, has a waterbed. Interesting detail about Lane. Interesting detail about Lane there. And Dakota, jerky farm, feminist shirt, owns swords, calls waitresses sweetie. Calls waitresses sweetie. So what take of that what you will. Now, who are we going to Burning Man with, taking in the totality of these folks?
Are there a lot of waitresses at Burning Man?
Tons, Jason. You never been?
Great.
It's amazing. You have to barter for your food, but there are tons of waitresses. I'm guessing, for me, this comes down to Sweetie or rock stars and what's gonna bother people more. But I feel like that. And I wonder if anybody will go back to Dakota. Okay. I think I have my answers locked in. Everybody else good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We started with Jason last time, so let's start with Caitlin.
You know, I feel like I've been really predictable this whole time, and I thought I should switch it up. You know, even before we started, I thought maybe part of this is to throw people off your trail so that you're not just giving away hearts to everyone else, right? And I thought, for me as a non-California resident, that Burning Man's like a once in a lifetime opportunity for me, and I want to go with someone who I'm going to have the most fun with, or at least is going to be the most insane to be there with. So Dakota was
the logic holds up. I mean, you surprised me with that answer, but I get it. I mean, I bet there are a lot of people who do own a lot of swords at Burning Man.
Absolutely.
For me, I stayed with Lane. Started off with Kim, stayed with Lane. Because I just rock stars and sweeties were a bridge too far for me. Neither of them were attractive. Waterbed, I had one growing up, so I just kind of thought. And matter of fact, on the VCR party episode that aired right before this, we talk about my childhood waterbed. So yeah, I stayed with Lane for Burning Man. Yeah. All right, Kendall.
I stayed with Lane because I think waterbeds are kind of cool. And remember how I said I was skeptical of men who call themselves feminists, like publicly? The waitresses sweetie thing.
I see.
Hand out.
Bit of a contradiction there. Yep, yeah, you're right.
Ironically, and I don't appreciate it.
Yep.
But
nope.
It still sets my hairs on fire.
Okay, Dakota, not panning out so well. Keith.
Well, I feel like, you know, Dakota called me and was like, "Hey, I got an extra ticket to Burning Man." I don't know if it's a ticketed thing.
Yeah, I think Ticketmaster runs it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's room in my tent for another. And I was like, you know, Dakota, we had fun on that roller skate. I'm kind of giving some room from Kim a minute because the parent thing was a little dicey. But I feel like Dakota would have the right drugs, the right attitude, the right clothing, wear sunscreen. I wouldn't have to worry about it. Lane looks like they burn and they forget the sunscreen all the time.
Probably. Yeah.
And you know, Dakota, you know, when it gets dark, you know, I might get a handy from him somewhere on the way.
I don't think that's beyond the realm of possibility.
And it's fine. And I'm expecting that I'll find out the waitress thing on our way home from Burning Man. And so
And you'll be like,
so that'll be maybe like, ooh,
week
ooh, yeah,
in the
yeah,
desert with this
so.
person. Yeah, probably brings a lot of ostrich jerky there in the tent. So yeah, you'd be well supplied. Maybe a little dehydrated.
He's probably selling he's testing out his jerky.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right. And who's left? Jason.
That's me. I went with Kim, but I'll tell you why. I was under the misconception that Burning Man was Coachella. So I thought, man, if she's calling people rock stars and she's got a ska thing, she's an eclectic lady, and she probably knows a lot about music. Now, I don't know if there's any music at Burning Man.
There is. Yeah.
I'll tell you my new reason why, because she's a puppet. And I would love to see some of her puppet work on display at Burning Man.
Oh, you're right. They have those giant, like, life, building size puppets there.
She might work the festival, and I don't even know until day 5.
Wow. Okay. Good logic there. Everything pans out. But now the stakes couldn't be higher. Getting on is the point in a relationship where you're like, ooh, did I really just commit to this? Like, we're in it for the long haul, and we're finding out some things you might not like on a long-term partner. So let's find out what the final scenario is. After nuclear Armageddon, must repopulate the Earth with one crush. Oh boy, the stakes are high then. So we are having children. We're repopulating the Earth with one of these people. And let's find out more about them. Kim, rock stars, taxidermies, mice, Avenue Q, ska phase, has a cockatoo that will live 50 years and hates you. Oh God.
No brainer.
Like birds really can hate somebody and they'll just squawk loudly and they live forever. Like, so that's interesting.
That'll scare you in the middle of the night.
Yes. Okay. So Lane, waterbed, urban decay, flipping houses, sabbatical, but you don't know what. Carries around a dog-eared copy of Atlas Shrugged. Okay. All right. This category, by the way, is called deal breakers. So some of these will definitely break the deal for spending eternity with. And then finally, Dakota, feminist, shirt, jerky ranch, swords, and sweetie, owns a 3-foot water bong adorned with a Stewie Griffin sticker. All right. Well, your Burning Man scenario is really playing out here. This is a complete picture of these folks, and we have to repopulate the Earth with one of them. Who are you going to pick? Not a choice anybody wants to make, I'm sure. All right, let me know when you're locked in, and I will start. Everybody good?
Locked in.
Yep.
He's still writing. By the way, the appropriate pen to play this game with is one of those ones that has the 5 colors.
Oh,
You know that you press down.
Or like a glitter gel pen.
A glitter gel pen works as well. Yeah, that's the appropriate pen. Okay, this was tough for me, but I did go with Kim. Because Ska and Puppet was so great. The taxidermied mice thing, not a fan. Rock stars really bothers me. But I did have a canary at one point. It chirped loudly. Wasn't a huge fan of me, I don't think, but I got used to it. And I just feel like I had the most in common with Kim, and our kids would be great, and hopefully they take after me more in terms of the rock stars thing. Kendall, interested to see what you picked.
Well, Ayn Rand is a total deal breaker. Fuck right off with that.
So. I had a hunch.
Yeah.
I had a hunch.
Yeah, I don't need to be hearing about libertarian theories all day long. I went with Dakota. I'm a stoner, and he's the hottest. And if we have to repopulate the Earth, we have to bang a lot. And what he does it for me the most, just purely based on physical looks. So
right, if you have to repopulate, I mean, you might as well have fun doing it, right?
It's super high, and so maybe the swords won't bother me so much.
Yeah,
I can teach him not to call waitresses sweetie.
Yeah, and just
kind of endearing, depending on like whether or not there's like a stank to it,
Or maybe he's from the South. Maybe that's just kind of like a gentle thing.
Yeah, maybe he's from 1961.
Right. Okay, that's Kendall, and let's go with Keith.
Well, I finally, after weeks of not returning their call, to Kim, And then the apocalypse happened, so we were meeting up for a coffee date, and then had to surmise our situations. And I got to know that bird when I was entertaining their parents.
When you discovered the mice, probably that was that same time.
Yeah, it was all that whole thing. But frankly, the bird, I taught the bird a few odd words to say, and so I don't even know if cockatoo is the kind that repeats words.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, you're having fun with it. You're making the most out of this post-apocalypse. Yeah,
exactly. And so me and the bird are okay. And I, Kim made me laugh at their open mic night, and that's very important.
It is, yeah.
Plus, Dakota, the worst hands for a handy, and I was just not. I didn't want to do that a bunch into the future.
Oh yeah, you still are scarred from that Burning Man.
Yeah, still. And Lane, I don't know. Yeah, I just haven't. I don't even think I went on a single date with Lane. Lane just no.
Didn't gel, huh? Okay.
Nope.
That's
all right.
Disappointing to hear that about Dakota. I'm very disappointed that you
about the handy thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Bummer.
Oh, well, I'll let you know that now. So you don't. At least get him on a moisturizing regimen or something.
Yeah, I mean, you got a long eternity here. And Jason Griffith.
I went with, surprisingly enough, I went with Dakota.
Yes.
Because I figure all of that land in Montana that we're going to retire to as the only two people on Earth, and populate it with vegan jerky. Hopefully, we'll make it worth it. I'm not too into decomposition on animals, and in Lane, again, that smile, I'm not going to look at that smile all eternity.
Just don't trust Lane's smile.
And the other thing is, I don't I don't trust that we're the only people on Earth, and I think those swords are going to come in handy when people come try to usurp us off of our land.
That's an excellent point.
That is a really good point.
Yeah.
But let's find out who Caitlin wants to spend the nuclear Armageddon with.
Yeah, to my own surprise, and despite no former dating experience with this person all game, I've chosen Lane. I feel that they're on a sabbatical. I'm thinking there's at least some possibility that the dog-eared copy of Atlas Shrugged is for research and for their own appreciation. It could be part of a bigger project.
Benefit of the doubt,
also,
yeah.
As a librarian, I'm feeling like I could introduce them to new works. I'm glad they at least read. I also have a fear of pet birds, so that put him off the table. And Dakota just doesn't do it for me. So
I have learned, I mean, regardless of who wins, I've learned so much about everybody. Caitlin, your fear of birds. Keith, your hand job preferences, and and I learned that Anne Rand is a deal breaker for Kendall, and
Rind is very orangey.
Yeah, I have the toughest time saying her name, and I don't want to bother to learn how to say it right. So, and Jason, what did I learn about you? How do you feel about waterbeds? Did I learn that?
I think anybody who has a waterbed bought it in 1992. I don't think they sell them anymore. I know that everyone will pop.
Yeah.
But if you still got yours to this day, then mazel tov.
Oh, mine always leaked. It was terrible. Okay, well, now it's time to total up your hearts. So take a look at all the things you've hearted. Write your total. I'm not feeling great about my chances here. Obviously, if you accidentally circled an answer that you put, because sometimes I did that by accident, don't count your own answers. Okay, and you can see your total at the top. I will announce mine first because it's underwhelming. I got 8 correct answers predicted there.
That's good. That's good.
All right, Kendall.
Mine is so much worse.
Really? Kendall, what do you got? Huh?
I got 10.
10?
10. Yeah.
Caitlin?
5.
Jason?
12.
12?
Nick, all but one. Nick, I guessed you on every single round, Nick, except for the last round.
Really? You got me 100% right except for round 5?
Kim, Lane, and then I thought you were gonna go with Dakota, but
I thought about it. I really did. And what is this, Keith?
I got 12 as well.
Oh my God. So there's no official tiebreaker rules. You can do like one more round of like deal breakers, but generally we say that you both live happy ever after with your final crushes.
Yeah.
What I suggest doing is taking a picture with the person you ended up with and like pose like this for a locket, maybe give them a kiss, post it on Instagram. We have a hashtag Dream Crush Game.
Or fly to Texas and try to find the actual person.
You actually could. Dakota was a nice guy, not named Dakota, by the way, but I thought he looked like one. Oh, so Keith, who was your final crush? It was Dakota,
Mine was
right?
Kim.
Oh, it was Kim. Okay.
Kim. Yeah.
So Keith, we're imagining you repopulating the Earth with Kim after nuclear Armageddon. Congratulations. And Jason, who did you end up with?
It was Dakota.
Dakota. Oh,
it was always Dakota for me.
Beautiful couple. I had a hunch.
It's a beard thing.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And there are, like I said, there's so many more traits. I think there's a total of, in terms of all these, there's 250 different secrets. So you'll play through the game. You probably won't get the same combo twice, because even if you get a couple of the same traits, you're playing with different groups. So what I've found is you're always learning about the people you're playing with. So even if like one, you get one you've had before, the surprise isn't there, but you still are like, well, how does this new person feel about wearing Crocs, or the fact that he makes moaning noises when he eats and doesn't realize it? What do they think about those things? Oh, and by the way, also there are blank cards for, like, if you want to write your own for your specific group, you can add your own in there with the same back. But yeah, what'd you guys think? I know some people have played versions of this before, but
this is wonderful. This was great.
I loved it.
Yeah,
good. I'm glad you liked it.
It's so Zoom internet friendly. Also, like I actually had this thought. I'm like, how are we going to do this online and really make it fun? This was you don't need to be in person to play this game.
Yeah, and hopefully once everybody's vaccinated, VHS hosts are the last on the list. But once everybody's vaccinated, it's fun to play in person. And of course, you can't just do one round. You're like, all right, deal them out again. Let's get a new round. Let's do all weirdos this round. So the person picks out people like, Reagan here, the Wes Anderson filmmaker,
Super 8 filmer.
Yeah. And there's some really fun ones in here. There is one thing that I mentioned this on VCR Party, but there is one crush in here that is a movie star. An actual movie star played a demo of this game and said, "Oh, this is another guy, Julian." And loved the game so much that he's like, "Can I be in it?" Like, we were thinking, do we ask the person to be in it? Like, pretty big deal. He specifically said, "I want to be one of the crushes." So it's a secret in here. You got to get the game to find out who it is, but it's somebody that everyone will recognize and has been.
Is it Robert Loggia?
Yes, it's Robert Loggia. I was trying to keep this a secret, keep some mystery around it. But thank you guys so much for being a good test audience and sticking with it after my internet conked out.
Yeah.
And I'll put everybody's social media handles on, and we'll see you guys again on VCR Party or Saturday Morning Cartoons.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Dream Crush.